This gives you a clear view of some of the extreme details. Like on the entertainment center, there's a little stereo system that's built into it. This aquarium lights up from the bottom when I place it into the rest of the house. And there's a connection that comes up from the second floor that plugs into the bottom. I can demonstrate this. Let me move a couple things. I don't want no bad leaves in the picture. This is a high altitude research plane. It has a door that opens like a normal plane does. And also I designed it to open so that my pieces can be, interactive. Now, there's two different rooms, and this is lit with the overhead lights. I also have lights in the cab. But these are the scientists and researchers working on various equipment. And then the back here is a little lounge where I have table and chairs and sink and a little stove.
That's where your engineers can go cook and
relax, and hang out. And like I say, with this piece, I just looked at various pictures of jets and used that as the model to create. And as with all of them, you have to build and rebuild, build and rebuild. This took off and on approximately a year. Now, that's not steady working, steady working on money the whole time. It's like you pick it up, you work on it a little bit, then, you put it down. You might not pick it up for maybe another month or so. Sometimes when you do set it down, you come up with better ideas on how to make things work or how you want it to look, But as an artist, you're ultimately concerned about the ultimate look of the project when you finish it, But in the process, I like the idea of the functionality, for instance, to be able to go look inside, see what the people are doing, or those types of things. About 12 years ago, we're building computers. We was rebuilding computers. We was giving them away and selling them and just putting computers together. And there was a sister that was standing there with us who was estranged from her family but had just bags and bags of Legos. And she needed a computer and didn't have any money. So we bought it. I built her the best computer I can build for her at the time, and she gave me the Legos. And there was such a large supply. It was like a big tub, like a garden tub, filled to the brim. And there was so many Legos, I wasn't sure what to do with them at first. I thought about charity, just giving them to charity, but I had the type of mind that was perfect for Legos. So I decided to keep them. And that was the start.
You don't know what trouble lies ahead in this cold world where this is stingy, and it's so easy to get misled. Why rent you like cut off, so many will say, and them I wonder which part got there. But when them ask, this is what I say: when was the last time you prayed? Give Jata answer, help and strength.
Oh, but Legos are so fascinating. Let me show you this. This is kind of like just a test board that I was doing experiments with magnets and electromagnets. And I needed a substrate that would hold the magnets into a certain position and be able to move in the directions in the way that I wanted them to move. I was trying to build a better motor. It didn't work, But hey, I tried, and I'm still haven't quite given up on my experiments yet. But Legos are so great for so many different things. This is my robot. Is a police surveillance vehicle. This is version 2.0. The original version was Barack because I built it around the time that Barack Obama became the president of the United States. So to honor him, I had built it Barack. But this is the second version of the robot. This is a complete police surveillance vehicle. It was designed with video camera on the top. It was able to measure light levels, distance, and sound levels, and transmit the video for up to 30 feet. It was controlled by a PlayStation joystick controller. There's an adapter that goes to a PlayStation unit, and it's and also an adapter piece that goes with Legos that this plugs into. And I just incorporated this piece into the design of the hood of the truck. There was no program like it around, so I had to completely design my own program to accommodate what I was building. This is part of the program for the robot. This is kind of like what you have to do in order to get the robot to work and move and do what you need and want it to do. Yeah, these are pieces, parts from a bulk supply of Legos. And I like to clean them and wash them before I sort them and organize them and place them into my collection. This is my Lego laundry room. This equipment is old film processing equipment from my darkroom days. Even though I lost most of my processing equipment, I managed to hold on to this film processing stuff. This is a film drum and a roller. And what I do is fill this with this dirty Legos. Just pour them all in there. Right now I'm just going to do this for demo. Just pour the cleaning solution in the top. So the cleaning solution is inside, and then just tumbling the Legos as it goes on. For instance, I got round pieces, special pieces, hinge pieces, decorative pieces, people and people, translucent pieces, but your basic blocks, your plates, different things. This is my big Lego project. The house itself probably took me approximately on and off 10 years. Earlier this year I had to gut it like you would do a real house because the pieces had all yellowed and it was falling down, it was dilapidated. Over here is it's going to probably be a pretty major project. This is the ground floor of a church, where you have the conference room and the kitchen and the minister's room. You have a little elevator here, Yes. Then you have the main hall, which is going to have like tables and chairs. Let's go inside the house. I designed the roof to lift off. On the inside, you see you have lights. You have 2 bedrooms. You have the main bedroom for master bathroom. As you notice, if you come down the sidewalk here, there's this little step here. And if you come up into the pool, there's a little step that you have to step up and down. That's because there's an electric plate that goes from here. Now this is the little alarm system. It's kind of rare to find black Lego figures, and I just got about 30 in the bulk Legos, and I found 4, which made up the family, for the house. It took me a minute to try to get the right type of hair and the right type of outfit. Lego's not very creative.
So there's like the limitation of like black figures.
Yes.
That you want to like represent.
I was surprised to get 4. Actually, I was kind of surprised to get 4 black figures, but it was just enough to create the black family. Even though they have white neighbors as friends, and the son has a white girlfriend, but you have to, when it comes to Legos, a lot of times you have to go with what you have. This has the appearance of a middle-income family. You know what I'm saying, with white neighbors and middle-income white neighborhood, which I've had that experience myself. I had a brand new house in a middle-income white neighborhood, so I guess I should be able to kind of like relate. This would be too square for me. It would be too routine, too social. So, I think I would be more comfortable in exploring more of a natural type of living arrangement. But I like the way it turned out, though. I've been in out of 1,000 locations during my professional career. So I've seen a whole lot of homes, a whole lot of construction. So I have an idea of houses and construction and how houses are built. When I first started building a house, I just thought maybe you just put a bunch of bricks together and, it's going to turn into a house. But it didn't take long for me to realize that in order for it to keep it from collapsing and falling into, you apply the same basic building principles that you would in a real house. Everybody should have a home. I remember one time I bought a brand new house. It was an experience to buy a new house and have it, watch it being built and to move in and, to have that type of thing. But I'm just as much home here. I'm probably maybe more home here than I was in a new house. And this is a crappy rented apartment. I'll make it work, the best I can. It was a predominantly white area. And at the time, I was a telephone technician. I made pretty good income. I was married and decided to buy a new house. I think the main reason was I had been in so many new homes and seen so many people buy and move into a new home that I wanted that experience for myself. It was 3 bedrooms, and the thing was my credit strength at the time was such to the point where I can get all the options in this house that I wanted. So I had a large master bedroom, large master bath, skylights, and a really nice kitchen set up. I lived in it all together for 5 years. I think halfway through that time, about 2.5 years in, I did what probably was a kind of a foolish move, and I took an early retirement from the phone company, thinking that I was going to go into business. But sometimes God has a way of intervening in your life. 6 months after I left the phone company, I developed cluster headaches, which was an extremely rare and painful thing to deal with. Cluster headaches is described as one of the most painful things known to mankind. By the time plus the headaches went into remission, I was broke, homeless, and depressed. So I had to kind of like work my way through that struggle.
On my way, on my way. The journey is so rough, I got to carry on. On my way, on my way. The journey is so rough, I got to carry on.
Well, being a swimmer and having to swim in many different pools, I pretty much know how a pool should look or should operate. I realized that if I was to have lights showing, that they had to be at level with the blue, representing the water. They had to be at the right level. So I had to pretty much build the pool around where the lights had to go. When I went to take my senior life saving, I had a white instructor, and he was trying to convince me because of his white skin that white people swim better than black people. And I was like, no. I learned at 15. Y'all learned at 5. We don't have access at 5 to go swimming like that. And if we did, we'd be just as good swimmers as they are. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? They have exposures to swimming pools, and they can take their kids to swimming pools where a lot of poor black people don't have that type of exposure to swimming. It wasn't until a lot of blacks got to high school that they had the opportunity to go swimming like that, and they've taken that out of the high schools. So they don't even have that in the high. They have the pools, they just don't use them anymore. I look at my work as more as being sculpture than building, because you never know how it's going to turn out. You just basically placing bricks in a certain place and trying to get the results that you want. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But it's kind of different from just building. It's more like sculpturing, to come up with a finished, beautiful product. It takes a lot of patience and time. I wonder if people use glue on Lego projects. Because these things would work a lot better for me if I could glue them. But anyway, it all comes together. I put this stuff. This is not doing that. There we go. I did kind of like, took a little bit of liberties. For instance, if you see the wheels on there, the wheels are more the kind of the style of a jumbo jet than more so than a Lear jet. I like my projects to have no unnecessary visible bumps. All the bumps I have are necessities. Being visually impaired, I'm always knocking things to loose. Bumping things, it's just my life. Basically, I have 2 eye diseases. I have I have end-stage glaucoma and advanced retinitis pigmentosa. Now, the glaucoma affects my peripheral vision from the side in, and the RP, retinitis pigmentosa, affects your center vision. So it's kind of hard to say at times for me to explain what I can see and what I don't see. And on top of that, between the 2 different things, it changes constantly through the day. And also, I'm also developing cataracts, so that don't help either. Now, for instance, I can see directly what's in front of me right here. Don't ask me what's here, because I couldn't tell you. Or even right down here, I can't, like if I'm looking at the plane here, I can't see my hands right here. You know, that's how narrow my vision is. So, like I said, it's kind of hard to explain, but you know, it's like, I guess it's like any kind of disability. You know, you learn to live with it. I know one time I heard that somebody said that going blind is a bigger disability than being blind. And when you first said that, they said that don't sound right. I mean, you know, but think about it. Say, for instance, if you were in an accident and you wake up in the hospital the next morning and you're completely blind, you're going to go through a whole range of emotions, depressions, you know, sadness, disappointment, and everything. But then next thing you know, you got to pee. The point is that if you're completely blind, you're going to start a new normal. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to adapt to that new normal. But going blind, it's kind of hard to adapt to that normal. You just got to muddle through the best you can. When I was about 9 years old, the Power Mall of the dish detergent was a relatively new product by that time. So one time we ran out and I had the empty bottle. So I said, "Cool, I'm gonna turn it into a helicopter for my army men." But I had a bunch of little motors and batteries and switches and whatever. So I cut the bottle out and I stuck a motor into it and made some kind of propeller. And I added a battery to it. In some kind of way, I made the plunger, the switch to turn it on and off. And I put my army men inside and fly it around. And people were like, "How did you do that?" I was like, "Hey, you know, it's just your imagination." But I've always had the interest in electronics, magnetism, lighting, those types of things. And I think technology it's very interesting, but I think that in these days, technology is beginning to go too far. Artificial intelligence is one of them. It's a nasty genie they're trying to let out the bottle because they have no idea and there's no way of guaranteeing that these things will develop its own identity. It may not necessarily like us. It's a whole kinds of possibilities on the harm that I see with something like artificial intelligence and what it could possibly do to us as a species. And not only that, but these types of ideas are still taking us further away from a natural existence. Let me show you one thing I had a real problem with. Seeing that it would come apart quite this way before. So I don't know if you can start the top of this stuff. Anyhow.